Hi, this is Larry London. We have a very special Border Crossings today. It's not often that you get to talk to a true music icon. We are talking today with someone who is truly a pleasure, truly one of America's greatest gifts to the world. We welcome Dolly Parton to the Voice of America.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm out excited about a new project I have called I Believe in You. It's my first children's album.
It's not only your first children's album, it's your 44th album. So, wow, that's looking back, that's an awful lot of music you've been putting out over the years. 50 years, I think, is how many years?
I think so. I did my first album 50 years ago, and someone told me that. It doesn't seem like it. But that was an album called Hello, I'm Dolly, and Hello, I'm Still Dolly. And now I got a children's album. I've loved children's songs for years. I've been writing all these years for my nieces and nephews and other people's children, writing songs for the Imagination Library and the books that we give away. And so I've accumulated all these songs, and it just seemed like the right time to do it when I found out that we were just about to give away our 100 millionth book. Wow. To children in the next month or so. So it just seemed like a good time to put that out.
Now, of course, the question would be why a children's book, or a children's album rather, because you've done so much for kids around the world, including the Imagination Library, which you're donating the money from the proceeds of the album, aren't you?
Yes, every dime from this album goes to the Imagination Library to put more books in the hands of more children. But we had a lot of success with the Coat of Many Colors movies, the Christmas of Many Colors and the Coat of Many Colors, and we gained a lot of new little children fans there. So when I was just thinking what I wanted to do next, that just seemed to be the perfect thing to do in the perfect time, and timing's everything, but this just seemed to be a good time of year for it too, during the holidays, and it just seemed to be a good time to put this children's album out.
Now, you grew up in a house with 12 kids. I mean, that's a lot of kids to have share room, share space.
Well, it is, but I have 8 children younger than me in our family. I have a sister, 2 brothers older. So we all grew up taking care of each other. So I certainly know how children are. I know how children think. And I wanted to write things that, that would touch on the subjects that children need to hear about.
Yeah, and you're also, I guess, Miley Cyrus's godmother.
Yes, I am Miley Cyrus's godmother. I'm her fairy grandmother, godmother. But actually, I've loved her since she was little. I've known her since she was a tiny little baby. And she used to smile all the time. And so they called her just like, "Oh, gonna smile for me? She's so smiling. She's smiling." So she got the name Miley from just smiling. Her name is not Miley at all, but she's mine and she's ours, and she's a great one. We got to write and record a song together in her new album.
Right. And you made appearances on her show before. But, I got to ask you, it's interesting that you're releasing the album on October 13th, because that's Friday the 13th. Are you suspicious?
Oh, well, I didn't realize October 13th was a Friday. I guess it is, but that's good luck for me. I don't believe in bad things, so that'll have to be a good thing, I think.
Now, one other thing I wanted to ask you, last year you toured for the first time in 25 years. Is there any possibility that you might consider touring again soon in the near future, or do we have to wait another 25 years?
Well, I don't think you'll have to wait 25 years, but it's probably not going to be happening anytime soon. I had done shows in, odds and ends shows, but it had been the first time I'd done a tour, a long tour in 25 years, and that worked out really well. But now I've taken off to produce some movies, to try to get a few other things going, and try to figure out what I want to do musically. So it won't be anytime soon, certainly not this year, and I'm not sure about next year, but I will definitely sometime be back out on the road, because I love the fans and I love the music.
And when you talk about movies, you've got a new movie with Jennifer Aniston, I think, coming out.
Well, actually, I'm not in the movie. I am and I'm not. But Jennifer is starring in the movie, and she's also producing it. But the story is about a little girl that was a big fan of mine, and she's a little overweight girl, and her mother, Jennifer Aniston, was a beauty queen of years back and still holds the beauty contest. And her daughter wants to be in the contest, and that's kind of a tricky thing, but she builds her confidence by listening through my songs and supposedly things I've said. So they asked me, since the story was kind of based on my music and me, if I would write some additional music, and the soundtrack will have a lot of my old songs in it and a few new ones that I've written, but I'm not actually in the movie.
Oh, but she named her dog Dolly Parton.
Yeah, she did, and I don't know if that's a compliment or an insult, but she says she's always been a fan of mine, and so I always take it as a compliment when people name their animals after me.
Yeah, well, I'll name my next kid after you. How's that? I mean,
Oh, that would be great. That would be great.
Because I love you, Dolly. You are loved around the world by so many people, and I know that you're going to be honoring Kenny Rogers coming up in a few weeks.
Oh, I am, and I'm looking so forward to that. That's kind of a bittersweet kind of thing, though. I would feel sadder myself, but I know that Kenny and I'll always be friends, and I can always go over to his house and sing with him, or he can come to my house and we can sing at a barbecue or something. But he's actually pulling out of the business. He's retiring. So we're going to definitely be singing Islands in the Stream, probably Old Friends. You can't make old friends. And whatever else he wants me to do, we'll be telling some stories, I'm sure, and hopefully going out with a bang. But I love Kenny.
Well, the world loves you too, and so the question would be, how much longer do you want to keep doing this? Because this is hard work. All these interviews and things, and the tour you did, and recording, and the movies, you run Dollywood, and you run your corporation. You've got so many things going on. You don't have to work that hard if you don't want to, but apparently you do.
Yes, I do. I do, because like I say, I've dreamed myself into a corner. I wanted all these dreams to come true, and they have. So now I have to be responsible. So I've got to be out there promoting things or whatever new things I want to do. And so I hope to always be working. The only way I would ever retire or pull back to a big degree would be if my health gave out or something, if my husband needed me, if his health was not good or something. That'd be the only thing that would slow me up. Otherwise, I hope to just keep going till I fall over.
Yeah, well, we hope that doesn't happen for many, 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 many more years. Now, you did get married in '66, and you renewed your vows last year.
I did. Actually, it was a year and a half ago, I guess. So we've been together 53 years. We started dating, married 2 years after. So we did renew our vows. We got all dressed up, and I got a big old fancy, beautiful dress with my veil and all that. And Carl, oh, he looked so handsome. So I've got a wedding book. I didn't get to have all that at the first time. I did have a little white dress my mother made me, and a little bouquet. But I wanted to always have that big that big wedding. So it was simple, small wedding at our home chapel, but it looked like it was big. The pictures are beautiful and big, and I loved it.
What, 53 years, what's the secret?
Well, we get along good. We both have a crazy sense of humor, so we laugh a lot. We're both in separate businesses. We don't try to, get that. That's always like a no-no. Usually if you're in the same business, it doesn't last forever, a lot of times. Sometimes it does.
You two decided
anyway,
you didn't want to have
compatible.
kids? You just decided you didn't want to do that?
Well, we thought we would have kids when we first married. We didn't try not to for years and years and years. Then there was a time that when I thought, well, now I really don't need to have a child just yet. So then we did the birth control thing, and then later we stopped that. Nothing ever happened. So I figured that it was not God's will for us to have kids, so everybody's kids could be mine. And now, with all this stuff going on, I think that's pretty much what happened. And I don't miss it. We have tons of kids. Nieces, nephews, and grandnieces and nephews, and kids of my band and all our friends. So we're surrounded with kids.
You must have a wonderful house during the holidays. I'm sure there's a lot of people coming over visiting you guys.
Well, they do, and I've got it set up. It's kid friendly. I have elevator in my big house, and in the bottom, in the basement floor, I have the elevator, the whole wall, like it looks like a chimney. And so I come down from the top, and all my little nieces and nephews and my little friends are at the bottom. So I dress up like Santa Claus. I come down the elevator with my sack of toys, and some of them go up and help me like they're my little elves to bring down the presents, and so we have a lot of fun. Now, I'm a big kid myself.
When I mentioned on the air you were going to be joining us, I got a few questions sent in, and I want to ask those on behalf of the audience. One of them wrote in and said, of course, of the 5,000 songs you've written, you've had so many hits, Jolene and 9 to 5, and so many big hits. And one of them, of course, is I Will Always Love You, which you sang originally and Whitney Houston sang. I heard that you had refused Elvis. Elvis wanted to record that song.
Well, I didn't refuse Elvis. Elvis loved the song, and I was so excited that he was going to record it. And he had it worked up, and they had invited me down to the recording session. Then the night before they were recording, Colonel Tom Parker, his manager, had called and said, now, we don't record anything with Elvis unless we get the publishing or half the publishing. And I'd already had a hit on it, and I published my own songs, and I always planned to leave my stuff to my family. So I said, I can't give you half of my most important copyright at that time. And he said, well, we can't record it. And I cried all night. And just for years, I thought how wonderful that would have sounded. But it was not Elvis. But I am glad now that I kept the copyright.
That's right.
I'll always, yeah. So I'll always dream about, you know, how Elvis would have sounded on it.
Now, we've got Dolly Parton with us on today's show, and she's sitting in a studio in, I guess it is Nashville right now. Here's another question from a listener. Somebody in the military wrote in and wanted to know what's left on Dolly's bucket list, because you have done everything.
No, I haven't done everything. I've got a lot of fun stuff I'd like to do. In fact, if this children's album does good, I'll probably do another one. I still would love to maybe put together a tour of children's songs and have some puppets and create some new big old, you know, outrageous looking fun things with great lighting and, you know, singing these songs. But I also would like to start a line of cosmetics, wigs, clothes. I've always wanted to do that. And I want to do more TV things. I want to do more music, of course. So I have a whole lot of stuff I want to do. I wake up with new dreams all the time.
You are just as beautiful today as you were when you started, Dolly. I don't know what the secret is or how you do it. If they put it in a bottle, I hope I can drink some of that, because you are absolutely gorgeous. And you know, I mean, this album is so exciting. I mean, I believe in you. I have 2 kids, and you know, it's wonderful to be able to sing children's songs and to have somebody like you, Dolly Parton, singing these songs. And you wrote all the songs on the album.
Yes, I did, and I loved singing those songs. I loved writing them because I wanted to also write things that would be really good tools, teaching tools for kids. I addressed things like the bullying and using your imagination, being loyal with your friends, and believing in yourself and knowing that you can try, you know, having your confidence. So I really tried to cover all the moods of children in the little I Am a Rainbow, using their moods and their feelings as colors. And so I really wanted to do something that was singable and fun and uplifting, and even wrote a couple of songs for sick children. I have one called Chemo Hero. My little niece Hannah had chemo when she was little. She's fine now. She's 29 years old, so she's definitely my chemo hero. But anyway, and the Brave Little Soldier goes along with other children having problems with divorce or whatever they may be going through. So it's been fun, and all the money goes to put more books in the hands of more children, because the money all goes right back into the library.
Well, this is very exciting for you, a new chapter in your career, your illustrious career, 44th album. I Believe in You. It comes out October 13th. Dolly Parton, thank you so much for being on The Voice of America and for joining us today.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.